The population of my hometown is like 1,500. It was so small.
How quickly did the fame hit?
Very quickly. Because at the time I was Miss Ohio Teen USA. If I would have been caught on camera taking a drink, everything would have been down the drain for me.
From 0 to 200,000 followers in a day.
Rushtok icon and Miss Ohio Teen USA 2022.
Kylan Darnell reveals the hidden pressure of going viral.
What fame costs, how she rebuilt confidence, and the Darnells' next surprise project.
Everybody was getting invited to date parties and all the freshmen were excited going out, and I couldn't really do that until after I had given up my title. I only put out content that I thought was 100% perfect. I didn't let people see like my true personality, but I realized it turned me into more of like a robot and like doing exactly what I thought was perfect.
But this is where social media was great for you because you started making your own money pretty quickly.
I remember making in 1 month and being like, holy crap. It all happened because I got a call from, you've got to walk a certain way, you've got to talk a certain way, you have to have the perfect wardrobe, perfect hair, perfect makeup, but it really devastated me.
Let's talk about the yellow dress.
Oh my goodness, the yellow dress. I'll tell you what actually happened.
How was 2025 Bama Rush different for you than prior years?
We're gonna get really into it.
Kylan Darnell, welcome to Post Run High.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited for you to be here. So Kylan and I are currently in Los Angeles, which is different for both of us.
Yeah, LA.
Is this your first time in California? No.
No, I've been here a couple times, but it's all been work trips. So this is the longest amount of time I've been here. Went to the Rose Bowl, and I really this time got to experience the city, and then I had stuff with work. So I was glad to have like a couple touristy days in between and do all the fun stuff. And try all the matchas.
It's good to get an extended amount of time here. It's
Yes.
also great weather. You missed like the downpour of rain that happened last week. Like last week it was so rainy, it was gray like every day outside, and now it's like perfect.
Yeah, it is sunny now.
Well, we just ran a mile and a half through West Hollywood.
Y'all hear that? I ran a mile. No, guys, in all jokes, I've not ran since my senior year of high school. I played soccer and sports my whole life, but then I started doing like less intense workouts, so I haven't ran a mile in a good bit. Now, I'll hot girl walk a lot, but just running and talking is a whole different thing, so I'm proud of myself. I feel very good.
Well, you're a senior at the University of Alabama.
Yes.
Do you work out on campus or do you hot girl walk around campus? Like what is your form of activity?
I do both. I do Pilates. I love Pilates. And I think it's because I'm somebody I've never been able to, like, in high school, I took weights with all the boys. I was the only girl in the weights class. My parents made me do it for sports and like to get stronger. And I like the girly feel of Pilates. I like being in there with the big music and just the kind instructor. That's a lot of fun to me, but I love to walk. I mean, there was a time, like, especially last semester, where I was getting 15K steps a day. Like, just making sure I hit 15. I was obsessing over it. It was a lot of fun doing it.
How big is the Alabama campus?
The campus itself is not that large. It's very close together. And that's my favorite part about it. Because you could go, like I can go on a night out and then walk back to my house and be completely safe. And I also love walking to class. So I like how close our campus is together. I love how I can walk 5 minutes to the stadium, walk 10 minutes to class. That's really nice.
Yeah, that is nice. It's also nice, when your classes aren't like 20 minutes apart and you're like sprinting. When you are saying you're walking 15,000 steps, like where are you walking? Are you just doing loops around the campus?
So I would walk around the campus neighborhoods. I would do the river walk. I would go walk on a treadmill. I got a walking pad from TikTok shop. And that's what I've been doing in the wintertime because I'm somebody that if it is under, I want to say 60 degrees, I'm not walking outside. I love the warmth. And weather's a big factor for me, so I liked getting a walking pad and being inside. That helped me stay more active. And I found that the more active I was, because I was always an active kid growing up, always at practice, always like doing something, especially like since I lived on the farm, my mom would literally lock us out of the house so she could clean it, and we were always running around. But whenever I went to college, there was a big switch for me. I noticed I wasn't as active my freshman year, and it was harder for me to go to the gym, and I didn't know where that was coming from. I think it was like a thing where I just started social media, and a lot of students knew who I was, and like I was getting like some traction online. It was harder for me because I was very like kind of insecure at this moment to go get in the gym and to be more active out on campus. I kind of wanted to hide inside. So I quit being active and I noticed a decline in my mental health. And so then I picked it back up and felt so much better after like moving and staying active.
Yeah, I feel like movement is such a big player too for so many people when it comes to feeling good mentally. Like it's to me, it's less about what's happening physically to my body. And obviously that's like a pro of working out, right? You like, you work out, you look good, you feel good, but really it's like the feel good aspect. And it is so important to move and, get in that routine. But I can't even imagine what it was like for you, because I remember, being a freshman in college and going to the gym and, feeling kind of like a little bit of a wallflower and almost liking it a little bit because nobody really knows you. You can kind of just like blend in, but you stood out.
Yeah. And like it was so funny because I remember like being a freshman and like making gym TikToks and like trying to and like mind you, I like had lifted weights before because I did take that weights class, and like my dad is giant, he's buffed, and he would always make me like lift growing up and work out with him because he really wanted me to learn how to like get in the routine of being active. And my father works out every single day and probably has not missed a day since before I was born. He loves it, and so he really drilled that into me growing up. And sports kind of took care of that for me, but whenever I was a freshman, it was harder for me because people would take videos of me in the gym and like post them on Yik Yak, and I was like, it was just embarrassing me so bad because whenever you're in the gym, you don't want to have to worry about
what you look like.
Yes. And so it like did mess with me a little bit, and that was just kind of everywhere. Like I thought I had to look perfect on campus at all times because I was worried about like what people were taking of me, like pictures they were taking, things that they were going to say. And so I really had to drop that attitude because it was really crippling. It gave me crippling anxiety my freshman and sophomore year, and I really had to learn how to kind of get out of that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, and there's so many factors that come into play here, and we're going to unpack all of them, but it's like, you were new to college, which is an anxiety-inducing experience on its own. It's a completely new experience. You're making friends for the first time. You're meeting all these new people. It's like information overload, and also trying to figure out school and balance sorority life and social life. But yeah, then on top of that, you were growing in eyeballs, not just on campus, but also online. And you also came from a really tiny town in Ohio. So like all of these factors I can imagine how anxiety inducing it was being on campus with all those eyeballs. How quickly did the fame hit?
Very quickly. I mean, Bama Rush as itself is a whole thing. Now I will say the first weeks on campus were the most exciting. Everything was new. Everything was so shiny. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever there's like new things, I was so excited to be out. I was so excited to be away from my parents. Love my parents. Love you, mom and dad. But like I felt free. And it was so much fun the first couple of weeks. And then I realized it felt like I couldn't go out because at the time I was Miss Ohio Teen USA. And I was a pageant girl, and if anybody knows anything about that, you have to be extremely clean through college. Like, especially, like, if I would have been caught on camera taking a drink, like, number one, that was illegal, and, like, everything would have been down the drain for me. And so I didn't get, like, the first college experience because I wouldn't, like, whenever I would go out, I just, like, stood there and, like, didn't get to, like, participate in all the college things at first. It was, like, freshman year, everybody was getting invited to date parties, and all the freshmen were excited going out, and I couldn't really do that until after I had given up my title. And I also didn't want to be clipped online, like, be a big thing that like I was underage drinking.
Wait, what do you mean giving up your title?
So whenever you are like Miss Ohio Teen USA, I went and competed for Miss Teen USA that October. And I had to be very careful like of all things social media and like the college life of partying because pageants, it's like a very thing like you don't post drinking. You don't like I could have lost my title. Like I'm not supposed to drink.
And so
like,
so this happened. You were Miss Teen USA. You got that title when you were a freshman in college.
So I won Miss Ohio Teen USA my senior year of high school, and I didn't give it up until the year after. So I came back from college and gave up my crown. But it's
giving up the crown is like handing it off to the next girl.
Someone else wins.
Got it. I need to be like updated on pageant culture because I like don't know anything about it. So
it's very like traditional, strict. Like I don't know much about it now because I've kind of ever since I gave away my title, I really stepped away. I was like, that was fun then. I'm at the position now where it wouldn't really benefit me, and like I'm just not into it as much. I grew up doing them. I kind of got burnt out. Like I to be completely honest, once I won Miss Ohio Teen USA, I was burnt out. Like even competing for Teen USA was really hard for me. And my mom, like it had always been like our goal growing up because my mom was in pageants as well and like competed a lot. And so I was like raised, but it was like for me, I just wanted to be Miss Ohio Teen USA. I didn't want to win the big one. I wanted to go and like party and have fun with my friends. And that's not the greatest headspace to have. And I was extremely grateful. I was just, there was a lot going on in my life. And so I couldn't really like buckle down and like practice for it. I was just kind of like, woo.
So for people that don't know a lot about pageants like myself, can you give us the breakdown of how old are you when you start pageants? What is it like actually doing a pageant, getting ready for a pageant, and why is it so exhausting?
So you can start pageants. I know people that have started pageants at like 3 months. Their moms carry them and they're not even like, they don't even know they're there, the babies. But I started, mine's actually funny. I was very much a tomboy growing up, and I loved to follow my older brother around. And I loved all of his friends, had big crushes on all of his friends. And my dad would make him include us, like include me and my sister whenever he was outside like playing and stuff like that. So I became very tomboyish to the point where I was standing on the softball field one day at a game and I spit on the field, like literally hawked a loogie on the field. My mother had a heart attack. I think that was it for her. She watched it. And also, like at the school dances, I couldn't step and clap. So she put me in dance class to where I could learn how to step and clap. That was very important for her. I have no rhythm. And now that I haven't been in dance, it's declined a lot. But it kind of like, you've got to walk a certain way. You've got to talk a certain way. You have to have the perfect wardrobe, perfect hair, perfect makeup. You have to have a great interview. You have to have community volunteer experience. You have to be like basically like the perfect version of yourself, but also be involved in so many activities and be very like multifaceted to make yourself like more interesting. So it's a lot. It's a very like, props to those girls that are still doing it. It's a lot of work. And I feel like that life prepared me for this life. That's why for me, I can travel all day on a plane, hop off, get ready on the plane, go to an interview, do a podcast, then leave the next day and be in a different city. It has completely like prepared me for this aspect of my life because where I've got experience in that, and it's made public speaking so much easier. It's made being on stage so much easier for me because I grew up doing that. So I am very grateful for the experience, but I will say I did notice that at a point in my life I was very robotic. Like I thought, because like with pageants only, there's 6 judges and like their opinions, they can all have different opinions. But I realized it turned me into more of like a robot and like doing exactly what I thought was perfect. And I realized that my sophomore year of college. Because if you guys remember, like my first couple of videos, whenever I did go viral, I'm not the same person I am now. I was very timid online. I only put out content that I thought was 100% perfect. I didn't let people see like my true personality. And yes, it was great that I got that start, but I really just I'm grateful that I was able to burst that bubble and realize that there are great days, but then sometimes there are bad days. So then once I started being more dynamic and not just being the perfect version that I thought people would see me as perfect and drop that, it made my life 10 times easier. And I'm extremely grateful for like the headspace that I'm in now.
Yeah, and I also think that period of your life, like being a freshman, being at that age, coming right out of that mindset of the pageant world that you're describing, like it makes so much sense to me why you presented yourself the way that you did on social media. And then of course with age and time and being in a college experience and meeting all these people, going to parties, going out with friends, you do slowly evolve. And I think what's really cool about you, and you know, I've been following you since you were a freshman in that era, and you've evolved a lot on social media.
Yeah. And it's been fun every step of the way because social media for me isn't like work. It's not like, oh, I have to do this. It's actually fun for me. I love, especially from where the population of my hometown is like 1,500. It was so small. And like I grew up with the same kids from kindergarten, graduated with them. I could tell you everybody in my classes, like grandma, grandpa, what they did, what sport they were in, who their best friend was. Like everybody knows everybody where I'm from. So I was so used to just it being like the traditional like movie small town in rural Ohio. And it's been so nice for me to find my voice and to also like, it's nice to know that people are listening to my voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so special to me because whenever I share opinions, whether they agree or disagree, it's still nice to be able to get my opinion out there to the public. And that's been really special to me.
Definitely. You're definitely empowering like a young generation of girls, you know,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people look up to you and see you as their role model, right? And you've been dubbed by so many outlets like the queen of Rushtok, which is probably so funny for you coming from Ohio, not having had a mom that was in sororities, right?
It's honestly my family. I'm going to be honest, y'all. We laugh about it every Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving for me, I love to like sit around the table. I'm such the person to be like, let's reflect on what's happened. Like, let's just talk about it. And so my brother all the time and my dad were put in my life to humble me. And so every time I go home, they make sure to. But it's just so funny to me because my mother was not in a sorority. My dad played college football. And I knew nothing about it. Now I'm like this big spokesperson for Greek life, which is like whenever I was rushing, I thought it was so fun and I loved to teach people about it because it was so new to me. And it was basically like a FaceTime call. Like I remember the reason why I started it is because I was in a different time zone than Ohio time. So my grandma didn't wake up in time to get on our FaceTime call. So I was FaceTiming my mom and I was like, is this outfit okay? Do I look good? And my mom was like, you're gonna do great, not just good, Kylan. You got this. Go in there, you've interviewed your whole life. So then she was like, you should make a little TikTok video teaching people about it. Like, this is so funny and it's so new and like no one's ever seen it and it can keep our community up on what you're doing. So I did. And then after that, I literally like shut my phone off, I remember, and then getting on the bus and going into our convocation day where they teach you all about it. I get home at 6:00. I'm getting Chipotle in the line. I finally open my phone and my phone is absolutely buzzing off the wall. I wake up to, I think it's like 200K in a day. I had like 8 million views and I was like, what the heck? And then people were just flooding. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Scary, but crazy. But I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah, you were kind of at the turning point of Rushtok becoming like a social media phenomenon.
Yeah. And it's just, I did not expect it. I was just trying to keep like people that I'm close to updated. So it's like really fun that it turned out this way and gave me the life it is. And I love how my mom's on social media. I hated it at first, to be completely transparent. And I love that my sister's on social media because now we get to do it all together and it makes it so much more special to us. Like the Tart trip with my mom, she cried the whole time. She was like, I can't believe it. It was so fun.
What was the transition like for you coming from a small town in Ohio and entering into the University of Alabama and Alabama sorority rush life?
Oh, it was crazy. I think that a lot of people forget about like how the Alabama culture is. And it really like whenever I became more immersed in it, it was so much fun to like be a part of. But coming from Ohio, it was really hard for me to like understand. And I will say,
what is the culture?
Like, it's really hard to describe. The girls are very like traditional. Okay, it was hard for me because I grew up in a very strict household. Like, my parents were just strict. Like, I wasn't even allowed to have a TV in my bedroom. Like, I was constantly training for something.
Neither was I.
Yeah, that's what has made this life for me on the outside so much easier. Being so busy is because I was busy growing up, and my parents made sure I was busy. It was just like so different. Like Southern culture, the girls like they dress more older, like the big floofy sleeves. They're not very revealing. It's just like so Southern. We're like Ohio, like walking down Columbus going shopping. It's very edgy and like there's that. And then there was always like the yes ma'am, no ma'am. We're like in Ohio, I didn't grow up. I just said like yes. You know what I'm saying? Like that thing. I just want to say it's like Southern culture is very strict, but as soon as like you're going out, everybody gets crazy. That was what I didn't expect. I remember the first time going out in Alabama, and I'm thinking that these girls are prim, proper Southern Belle princesses, debutantes. And then we go out, and all of a sudden they're rowdy animals. And I remember being like, whoa. That's what it is. That's like the perfect way to describe it. It's hard for me to describe, but it's a good way.
And I feel like people will really appreciate hearing that description because there's so many people that do see these girls and can't imagine them getting rowdy at a bar.
Oh.
So I like knowing that we can do both, guys.
Oh, we can do both.
Mm-hmm. What was the hardest thing for you that you had to learn?
I think that, and you know I love my Southern Belles. I grew up going there. Like I mean, I went to the University of Alabama, so of course I love it. I'm grateful. It's very gossipy and very judgy. We're like New York and Ohio, they're like northern culture, I've noticed, is like mean straight to your face. Where southern culture, it's very like discreet, like bless your heart, that whole thing. And I realized that early. And it took a while for me to get a hang of, but I kind of get it now.
You know, after 4 years in it, what would you say you had to learn about female friendships in a Southern sorority girl environment?
I'm still learning. To be completely transparent, I'm somebody that I've always been so busy and like always working and grinding for the next step of life. And so for me, I'm now in the era like where I don't really participate as much like going out and doing like all the college stuff because I'm trying to set myself up for my New York life. And I will say like it's really hard to find a good friend. And something that I've noticed is, especially in college, it was really hard for me to find a group of girlfriends that supported all my dreams and didn't just want to ride off my dreams. You know what I'm saying? I think it's hard to describe because I don't want to like shoot shots at anybody, but that's something that me and my sister have really had to learn and go through is like sometimes college girls are not genuine. Sometimes they're just in it for what they can get. And it's been really hard for me to learn that.
And I think it's a good lesson to learn. And I think the cool thing about college is it teaches us so much about life. We learn these lessons over and over again in life. And I think it's people in general might not always have the best intentions, right? And it's like, yeah, you have to find your people and the people that do have the best intentions for you and want the best for you. And, you know, we were talking about this as we were walking before, but in New York, you know, you meet a ton of people always, right? You go to a bar, you meet a bunch of girls, you go out, you know, you meet guys and girls. And there's a rare few of them that are like those soul connections, like those close friends that you get to make. And those are really special adult relationships, but it is rare, you know, to have like a genuine connection with somebody and, you know, have a friend that's like so supportive, right? Like a best friend, like a sister.
Yes, and that's why I'm so grateful for my sister. And I also learned that to be honest, my mom taught me this growing up, you become who you hang around. And if somebody is constantly like, I love to speak positivity and positive affirmations. I've learned that by saying genuinely, have a great day, not just a good day, it has given me like a thing in my head where today is going to be great. I'm going to kill today. Like today is my day. And I realized that was helping me in my everyday life. I think that whenever people ask you how you're doing, that you should always be like, I'm doing great. I think that speaking positively makes you act positively and think positively about yourself. Where I've realized I don't get along with people that are like, well, that was awful, or like people that are constantly putting negative out there because it makes you negative. I've learned that. You have to speak positive in order to be successful. Like, and I know that that's like so crazy because our world loves to like, I think that it's important to be very dynamic and share both sides, but I just learned that I was around people who were constantly complaining about this or talking about this or this didn't go in their favor or gossiping about this. And it really like turned me into that for a little bit and I had to pull myself out of it. Because it was making me negative, and I don't want to be negative.
No, and you're such a naturally positive person, and I feel like we all have that, right? Like I'm a very positive person too, and I found myself at times slipping into a negative mindset, and it's because of the exact reasons that you're talking about. So yeah, it is really important, you know, what we talk about with other people, and then also the thoughts that we share with ourselves, because positive affirmations and positive self-talk really are important things to do, and they do make you feel better, and they do lift your spirits, and they do change who you are as a person. Would you say there's strategy involved when you're rushing as a freshman?
100%. I want to say that my experience was easy because I did grow up doing pageants, so I knew how to walk in and talk about myself. I knew how to pitch myself to these girls. I think that it's all about just you. I think that a lot of people get caught up on trying to be something that whenever they walk into the house, these college girls, like these freshmen, are trying to be something that they think the sorority girls want to hear about. Honestly, they love different. I am not your cookie cutter Southern girl that went to a high school in Alabama and knows everybody. I went to Alabama recruitment knowing not one person. I knew nobody. I didn't have any, I want to go to this house. I knew nothing about the houses. I knew And I think that was why I got the best experience, because going into the houses, I didn't know like, oh, this is top house, or oh, so-and-so's there, I should go there. I got it completely. I didn't have any friends factoring in. Like, I didn't have to go to a front one from high school. It made my experience so original and really genuine and special, because I found a house that I like. I found a big that I fell in love with, love her. We're best friends to this day, talk every single day, and she's graduated with a big girl job. And it was just so genuine, my experience. And I think that was so special, and it was all because I walked in there being myself. Now, it's funny because if I would have been from Alabama, I wouldn't have known that you're not supposed to post on social media, that sororities will drop you if you post on social media, that it's like a no-no, big no-no. Had no idea. I had no idea that you needed to dress a certain way, like look like a Southern belle. Had no idea. I walked in there in a Zara like blazer suit. That's not Southern at all. Had no idea. I had no rec letters. Went in there clueless, and it worked out absolutely perfect. And I think that is why it worked out, was because it was a genuine experience. And I think that people online resonated with that. I think that sorority girls liked how I was different and how I didn't have like that incoming, oh, I've got to go here because Katie May's going here, you know? So it was just very special for me.
Yeah, honestly, there's something really nice sometimes about going into a setting and just being a little bit naive to it.
Oh, I was
and
so
creating
naive.
your own experience.
Yeah, it was so funny because whenever I was a sophomore and I was on the opposite side, like trying to recruit girls, I had no idea. I remember the first time walking in and like being a freshman and seeing the door song and just thinking that I didn't know all the rehearsal. It was crazy to me being a sophomore whenever I found out that we started rehearsing for Rush in January. I had no idea. And I was like, wait, we've got Rush practice? They're like, yeah. And then like I remember doing recruitment, having a cue card with all the girls' names on it, things that they liked, the way that they pair them. I had no idea. And I thought it was crazy. It was like doing Rush again on the opposite side, because I was like, wait.
It must be kind of cool to see it from the opposite side.
Yes, and I remember looking at my bag and being like, wait. So everything you told me, they just paired me because we had similar things? And she was like, yeah. I was like, it worked out for the best, but I genuinely thought that I was just having the best interview of my life in Rush. I didn't know that she was like picked to ask these questions to me.
Okay, but they picked you because you guys have commonalities. So
Yeah.
that, I like knowing that. At least it's not like you're getting paired with a random person you have nothing in common with. They're
Yeah.
like, we're going to pair her with this girl because they have X, Y, and Z in common, and we think they'll like each other.
But I just thought it was funny how I thought that she was just my yin to my yang. Well, she is.
She was.
She genuinely is now. Like, that's why it's funny. But like that first week, I was like, I met my girl best friend forever in there. But I didn't know that she was like a sign for it to be.
Okay, wait. So when you say that social media and posting wasn't like a thing that you were supposed to do going into it, and it ended up working out in your favor, right?
Yeah.
But were there girls on campus that were also rushing, or maybe that were at some of the sorority houses already, that were like mean to you because of it? Like, was there any bullying that happened because of your social media presence?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember getting on the bus the third day and everybody was like, oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. And a couple girls like were like, you need to stop posting on social media. You're not going to get the house you want. And like, it's just very much a thing where I will admit my freshman and sophomore year of college, influencing wasn't like what it was now. Like now that I'm about to graduate, I'm finally at the point where like I'm respected across campus, I would say. Like a lot of people like are more fans, but in the beginning, a lot of people like on students would make fun of me for posting and they thought I was like cringy. Well, if you embrace the cringe, you see what happens. That's all I have to say to that.
And now it makes more sense too, because you go back to like what we were talking about earlier with like not wanting to go to the gym. It's like, well, yeah, if you're getting looked down upon on campus for doing what you're happy doing and getting a lot of positive reinforcement doing it with online, I would feel uncomfortable too going to the campus gym and having people take videos of me and talk about me on Yik Yak.
Yeah.
Yik Yak was a nasty platform back in the day.
It was still nasty.
Yeah.
I don't even get on it. They need taken down. That shouldn't even be an app. But it was just crazy because it went from like, I just think it's changed so much. Like the college, like whole thing about influencing, like it was not cool my freshman year. It was actually like very frowned upon, like at all. And then it really became. And I don't know, like, what made people switch. I think that a lot of girls started embracing it more and, like, getting more involved and wanting to be influencers. It was funny because I did have a couple friends, like, in the beginning, like, be like, I couldn't post that. Like, I would be so embarrassed. I couldn't do what you do. Like, I don't know how you put yourself out there. I could never do that. Like, you know, like the backhanded stuff like that. And now they're, like, trying to do it. So I just think it's fun. Like, I'm glad that people are embracing it and trying to put themselves more out there now because it makes it fun for the whole, like, community of social media.
What was your first game day experience like?
Oh my goodness, y'all. This is hilarious because I had no idea what to expect. So I remember the week leading up to it, I was with a couple of my Zeta sisters, and I was like, what are y'all wearing to the game? Like, first Alabama game day, what are y'all wearing? I was expecting, being from Ohio, I went to a lot of Ohio State games growing up. I was expecting like jeans and a t-shirt and or leggings and like a jersey. That's what I thought it would be. These girls pull up like a full-on Zimmerman and a Lexus like set. They're like, no, this is what I'm wearing. And I remember thinking, wait, you look like you're going to Easter Sunday. Like everything was so dressy. So I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I don't have an outfit for game day. I'm gonna look like an idiot. And of course I've got to do it on social media. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So she was like, all right. My mom came down, drove from Ohio, helped me go into the Tuscaloosa shops and pick out an outfit for game day. So I got my little Alabama game day, and since I was a freshman, I had a game day date. Now, all the freshman boys that are in fraternities ask a sorority girl or any girl to be their game day date, and they're all wearing suits, like khaki pants, suit jacket, tie. And being a freshman, you have to walk. Your game day date comes to your dorm. I was in Pres 1, and that was the boy and girl dorm because I didn't decide to go to Alabama until late July. So I couldn't get into the all-girl dorm, and I was actually really upset about that because I wanted that experience. But anyway, the guy picked me up from my dorm. We walked to his frat house. At the time was KA. And we're just like in the KA, like concrete area, lawn, porch, whatever you want to call it, and you pregame there. You like stand around, you eat food. Oh, these fraternities are mega mansions and they cater every single game day. And so we had this huge spread, we eat, and then we end up walking from KA to the game. Now, the worst part about being a freshman is you're in the upper bowl. I believe it's sophomore down, lower bowl. So you have to walk up the spiral staircase all the way up to the top of Bryant Denny. And I remember getting into that stadium and it being euphoric. I had never been to an Alabama game. And, that's another thing to include. Whenever I came to my Bama Bound at the University of Alabama in, I believe it was August 2nd was my Bama Bound, I'd never been to the university before. What's a Bama Bound? Freshman orientation. That's my first time ever being at the university. Okay. I decided to go to Alabama without actually seeing it.
Why did you decide on Alabama? And what were the other schools that you were considering?
Okay, so I applied to a bunch of different schools. I got into some great schools, but I wanted Alabama from the get-go. I wanted to be far away from home. I wanted to find myself, and I had a scholarship through pageantry. So that was like really no other school was really on the radar for me at that time.
So because you were Miss Ohio Teen, is that why you got a scholarship?
I had done like scholarship pageants my whole life, so I had a pretty good rack in the bank. I had been in scholarship pageants all the way up until high school, so it was really just like a no-brainer. And usually with pageant girls, Alabama will throw a scholarship. And I was in like the Miss Ohio America system for a while, and I got a scholarship, so it was perfect for me. And I just wanted to be away from home. I love my mother. I do. She was very involved in my life, like to a point where my mom would fix my hair every big event I went to. She would do my makeup. Like it was to the point where I don't want to say I was crippled, but in like the grand scale of things, I couldn't do a lot of things on my own. I had like anxiety, like if she wasn't around me. And like that would be so surprising because I would be on stage like doing stuff. It wasn't that. It was like I would always have to call her and make sure, is this outfit cute? Do I look great? And I would always ask for her opinion on every single thing. And I wanted my dad, like whenever I told him I wanted to go to a different college, my family had a bet that I would be home for a semester. That I wouldn't be able to go and do it.
Where did your older brother go to school?
So my older brother was really, really good at baseball, had a scholarship, and he got into a really bad accident. And he was welding like on a machine, and it smashed his fingers.
Is he okay now?
Yeah, no, he's fine now, but like he ended up taking like a year off and like regrouping and figuring out that life. And,
So he
like,
stayed closer to home.
Yeah, he ended up working for my dad after that because my dad owns a couple businesses, and yeah, that was a very like turning point for our family because we were really excited for him. He was really good at sports, and it was just really hard for him. So yeah, but
you were the first one that left the nest and
Yeah.
really left, and then blew up online, and your parents
Yeah.
probably like, what the heck is going on in Alabama?
yeah, so it was really hard for me. Like the first 2 weeks, I was like, holy crap, how am I going to do this? But then I found out about my family's bet, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick through this. And then social media, everything, it was perfect. Like it was it's like an insane path to where I've got to where I am now, and it's been super special, and I'm really grateful. It's just really funny at the same time because I'm somebody like I always felt like, and I can't even describe this. I always knew that I would go away and it would be like people all the time, like whenever I was graduating, they're like, why are you going away? And like, I didn't at the time know how I would like pay for my college tuition. Like I had a scholarship fund from like that, but like I didn't know how I was going to pay for like the everyday life at Alabama.
I mean, because you're talking about girls showing up to game day #1 in Zimmerman and Alexis. Let me I tell you, like I did not buy clothes when I was in college.
Yeah, so I knew how I was going to pay for my tuition. I got a scholarship, and my grandpa set me up a very like great college fund. I didn't know how I was going to pay for like outfits. I didn't know how I was going to pay for a sorority. My dad told me, I remember begging my dad whenever I found out. I didn't find out what like the sorority life was until my freshman orientation. All the girls came up to me and they're like, are you going to do Bama Rush? We know that you're in pageants. We've seen you before. And I knew a couple of girls, like it was so weird. I remember being at freshman orientation, seeing a girl that I used to compete against at a dance competition. I was like, I've never talked to you before, but I know you. I know your dance routine. So it was just so funny in that aspect of having no idea. And my dad, whenever I first called him and asked him, he's like, I am not paying for you to make friends. You are the most social butterfly I know. You will be fine. You do not need to be in a sorority, Kylan. That's ridiculous. And so I was like, Dad, please. And so he paid for like my first round of it.
How expensive is it to pay, like to join a sorority and be in one?
I used to have these numbers memorized.
Is it like $1,000? Is it more? Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't have been in the
I
budget.
want to say, okay, I can say my sophomore year of college, I know for a fact I paid $20,000 because
20 grand.
I stayed in the house, and then there were dues on top of it, I believe.
Okay, so your housing fee was part of that.
Yes, so housing was part of that. Where if you think like dorms is like $14,000 to live in the dorm.
But this is where social media was great for you because you started making your own money pretty quickly.
So that was why the whole thing turned out so great, because I was gonna have to get a job to like pay for like the everyday, like the going out, and like Alabama is so expensive, and I know that like the way I live is so like lavish compared to the normal like college person. I really like, that's one of my goals this year is to like be financially responsible. Because I have lived my best life in college, but like it's time that I've got other goals, and I'm getting ready to move to New York. I know New York's expensive, and I've paid for everything myself, like my car insurance, my phone bill, since I was a freshman. So as soon as I like did that, but I'm extremely grateful because my dad and mom, like my dad owns like his own farm and everything, and he has a couple businesses, but they didn't just like hand me money growing up. If I wanted money, they would be like, you're gonna go do chores out on the farm, and then you can go to the movies with your friends. And like they paid for everything, that like all my pageants, all of that. So then whenever I was actually making good money, it was nice for me to be financially independent, and it taught me a lot of great lessons in life, like doing that all by myself, because it made me hungrier for success. Because once I got a taste of like, I remember it was like it was October. We were going to the LSU game, and I was on my way down. And I'm not like somebody like talks prices ever, but this was really special to me, especially like the way I grew up. I remember making $100,000 in 1 month and being like, holy crap. And I just like started crying. I was like, this is insane. Just because my parents just didn't like, yes, they paid for my pageants and like my activities, but that was their way. They didn't just like give me everything I wanted. And a lot of people like online didn't know that about me. A lot of people thought that like I came from like this mega millionaire family by the way I was dressing, when they didn't know that like my college was paid for, yes, but like I was paying for everything myself. So I was able to throw money on like the cute outfit because I was working so hard behind the scenes that nobody knew about.
Of course.
So
of
it's
course.
been, that aspect of it has been very nice and very freeing that like my parents don't have to, like, if I was to get, I loved having the freedom because like in high school, whenever I'd get in trouble, the second I did something bad, my parents would cut my phone off because they paid for my phone. So I did not get my phone if I was being a bad kid or if I got a bad grade. So it was nice having like, you can't cut my phone because I pay for it. That was nice.
My parents did the same thing. And I remember I was so happy when I got off my parents' phone bill for that exact reason.
Yeah, no, it's so freeing. And I love them, and I love, like, I wouldn't be here today without my parents, but they really were great at not like making me do things for it. So I do appreciate that because it made me kind of appreciate it more.
2025 Alabama Rush was a big year for your family. We've got Mama Darnell entering the picture. We've got Izzy Darnell on campus. So let's talk about what it was like when A, your mom steps onto campus, B, your sister's now there. How was 2025 Bama Rush different for you than prior years?
I'm very grateful for it now. I think that my perspective has entirely changed, to be completely honest, on it. Through it, I was not a happy camper.
I can't imagine being a senior on campus and all of a sudden my mom's there too.
I was not a happy camper. And I haven't like really said anything about this just because I do like to put out like the most positive thing online and always be a positive source, but we're going to get really into it. I hated it. To be completely transparent, it kind of like, I love my mom and I love my sister, but it gave me a lot of anxiety because I was somebody like, especially posting online, I like to put the best foot forward. I want to be positive. I want to put out the best image of myself. And I am. One of my faults, one of my great things and one of my faults is I'm a perfectionist. Really bad. So it's great in work and like trying to like turn around the content and like do all that. But in regular life, I'm really, really hard on myself. And so then whenever my sister comes into Alabama, now I love my sister. She's my best friend. And we've really grown together. My college experience has completely been, this has been my favorite year yet because she's with me and it's my all-time best friend. But during Rush, it was giving me a lot of anxiety just because that was my last time doing it. That was like my tip the hat, pass the torch. But my sister went into it and she realized quickly that she did not want to be in a sorority. That she did not like it, that she thought it was stupid. And so she would go online and like she would be like, sorority girls this, sorority girls that, I don't get it, I don't like it. And I was like sitting beside her and I was like, dude, I'm one of those. Like, and it was hurting my feelings a little bit. And it kind of made me feel like invalid, I want to say. Now we've talked through all of this, but it gave me a lot of anxiety that week because then I was worried about what house is my sister going to get in? Is my sorority going to take my sister? Because at this point, like sororities have been through it with influencers. And I've always tried to put the best foot forward for my sorority and be positive online, but other people haven't. So I think it's really hard for them to sign on an online personality with so many followers. Now, I will admit, Izzy has matured a lot since, and I think that she's had it the tougher than I did at Alabama because she came in with all the numbers already. I think a lot of people were harder on her, and she is so nonchalant. I don't care. Well, she's opposite of nonchalant. That was a really bad word to describe her. Like, she doesn't care about people's opinions. If it makes Izzy happy, Izzy's going to do it. She's the most outgoing. She's the most vivacious person whenever you sit around her. She makes everybody in a room, she's the light. She makes everybody in the room like better. But I think that online, from where she is very outspoken and she's like, what's up, fools? People take that as a negative connotation towards her and don't realize how great of a person she actually is. Now, we did have like a little bit of fun time, like rage baiting and like her being like, because I was so perfect online and like she wasn't. So like her being the villain sometimes is fun, but she really is a great girl and all of her friends love her. And I feel like a lot of people have seen her soft, mushy side that she doesn't let people see at Alabama. So she's been having a really, really great experience now. But
I think your mom does a really good job also showing that side of Izzy and that side of you. You know, having your mom now online too, like balances everything out.
Yeah. I think it started out where I was getting to do all of like the influencer things and my sister had to sit at home in high school and like watch all of my success. And we were always somebody that like we competed against each other growing up. There were pageants where we were against each other and I would beat my sister or she would beat me. So we've always had a very tight-knit relationship, and we always compete against each other. So I think it was really hard for her whenever I moved away. Number one, I got really immersed in like my friends, and I was not the best oldest sister to her. I did not check in on her. I did not ask her how high school was. I was so into myself and so into my own life that I forgot to be like a good older sister. And it really makes me upset now thinking about it, but we've been able to mend our relationship because freshman and sophomore year was really hard for us, going from being best friends to, there was a point whenever Izzy stepped online that I was so mad at her that I unfollowed her for the things that she was saying. It embarrassed me. But we're great now.
Let's talk about the yellow dress.
Oh my goodness, the yellow dress. So Izzy fell in the pool before prom.
And that was real.
Falling in the pool, okay, I'll tell you what actually happened. She was standing there making a TikTok, and she wanted to see which prom dress that she would like the best, okay? So she was spinning around by the pool, figuring out taking pictures. And my mom was taking videos of her. Now, her falling in the pool was legit the very first time.
In the yellow dress.
In the yellow. But then it went viral, so of course we had to wear it out. But I will admit, whenever she fell in the pool, it wasn't right before her prom. It was before her pre-prom pictures to make sure that everything was perfect. Like, that was one thing that we started doing, what we learned from pageants, is if you've got a big event, the day before, go out in your dress and take pictures to make sure that you like your hair, you like all of it. Because my mom would always do our hair and makeup. And if you didn't like something, you could see it there. And then you could make content before. Because, like, I did prom content as well. Like, that was one of my most viral videos whenever I was younger, was doing prom content. So Izzy, of course, is following that footsteps. So it wasn't like the hours before her prom, it was the day before. So, like, we were able to, like, make a little storyline out of it, and it worked. It did. It was very viral. I remember literally looking at it and being like, holy crap, my sister got 80 million views. That's insane.
And when you had first seen it, what was your initial reaction?
I thought it was hilarious. I mean, I loved it. I was kind of happy for her because it was really hard for her to watch me be on social media and people always asking about me and not her. And so it really like made our relationship better because we were able to travel together and we were able to do all like the share our experience together. And it made it really special. Once Izzy started doing social media, it was really hard and rocky at first, but once we figured it out, it really made us like stronger as friends and like sisters as well.
Totally. And I feel like you and Izzy play off each other so well
Yes,
on social
we do.
media. And for a while there, like maybe a year or 6 months, I remember just seeing so much rage bait from the two of you where you were
Yes.
just like driving audiences crazy. I remember like the fake bags at Christmas was one
Yes.
thing, right? Was that a planned?
No, that one actually wasn't really planned. It's so funny because whenever we were I'm through my rage baiting, guys, I promise. I'm over it. I'm never doing it again. I learned a lot from it. But I was honestly trying to get my sister followers. I wanted her to be at my level at that point in time because we realized early that we would be more successful together rather than separated.
Was the rage baiting a conscious decision? Like, would you guys be texting each other being like, let's do this?
Well, no, it would happen. Like, we would post a video online, then all these people would get pissed about it. And I would be like, wait, I would be the sister that's sitting there crying, freaking out. Like, what do we do, Mom? And
That's
I would
me.
be like, I don't get how like people were mad about this. And then once we realized that the audience was mad about it, then we would make the second video being rage baiting. But the first one really was usually genuine.
Yeah.
That's the worst part to it.
No, you guys were so good at it.
So then we saw like the way it was being taken. Then we would rage bait off of that. And it would just keep being a thing and keep being, yeah.
Well, I feel like Izzy coming online helped you in so many ways too, because Izzy's like the opposite of trying to look perfect online. Like, she is just so fully herself, right?
Yes.
And like, she looks great online. She's beautiful. I love her outfits. She's so fun.
Yeah.
But I feel like she did really spark something inside of you where you were like, I can show all the sides of myself and I can be more vulnerable. And I've gotten older. I'm not this, just like, like perfectionist girl anymore. Like, I still have those attributes to me and I always will, but I can be myself.
Yeah, it brought that out because Izzy is genuinely, I've met a lot of people on this earth. I've not met anybody more authentic than Izzy. She walks to the beat of her own drum and is not sad about it. She loves it.
Yeah. Is Izzy still at the University of Alabama?
Yes.
Okay, because that's like every once in
a
a while, yeah.
So we were doing like a little cute interview and she didn't say that she was transferring. She said that she was going online. So she's still at Alabama. She's just online. And like whenever I move to New York, she's of course going to come with me, but she's still graduating. We want to graduate from the same university. So we graduated from the same high school. We want to graduate from the same university.
That's fun to know that you guys are going to be in New York together.
Oh, I'm so excited.
How lucky is that?
It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited to start like my new life there, and having my sister with me makes it so much more fun and special because she's my built-in best friend. And I also love it because we fight all the time, but she genuinely can never turn her back on me because my parents would not let that happen if we ever got in like a giant fight. But it's made life a lot more fun.
Okay, well, now let's talk about Mama Darnell, Mama T, as you call her.
Mama T.
Mama T. So you went from getting out of your small hometown, you know, feeling like yourself, being independent, being on a college campus for the first time, loving that independence, loving that freedom, you know, paying for yourself, to then all of a sudden senior year, your mom's there with you. She's helping you guys with your outfits. And I'm sure, like, I can't imagine being a college student and having my mom there. I'm sure there were pros and I'm sure there were cons. So let's talk about them.
There were pros and cons. Well, first of all, we decided to let my mom participate in TikTok. I always grew up, like, whenever I started, I was like, do not. Because she was like, she loves self-help and she loves teaching people stuff. That's like her thing, is like she loves teaching sewing. She loves teaching all of that thing, like all that stuff.
She's so good at it.
Oh, she's good at all that. Like she's very artsy and good at all that
Izzy
stuff.
inherited that from her.
Yes. Yeah, where I've got more of my dad's brain side. But anyway, I remember we had went on a brand trip to London. And me and Izzy were like out of the country, traveling around, getting to see all the touristy things. And my mom like wanted to go. But sometimes with brands, if you don't like have like social media, I hate this part, but they won't let you go. Sometimes like that's why Tarte is so amazing, because they let you pick whoever in this world you want to bring. But sometimes brands won't let you. And my mom's favorite place is London. She really wanted to go. And I think that it was hard for her to like see her baby girls. Like we'd FaceTime her through everything, and she's like getting a little bit of FOMO almost, but she was happy for us. She was living through us, but like it really, her TikTok started because she was like, I want to be able to like go and do things with you guys, number one. And then number two, as soon as Izzy graduated, the only kid that's left in the nest now is Cruz, my younger brother. My mother was so empty nested, like going crazy a little bit. There were moments like this summer where Izzy came down to Alabama and lived with me. Mom was calling me 4 times a day, like to the point where like I would be like working out. She'd be like, oh, I'll just sit here and like listen to you. And it was so sweet, but I didn't realize how empty nested she was. So she was like, I need a hobby. Like genuinely, like I guess she was talking to my dad, and my dad was like, oh God. So she was like, all right, I think I want to start my TikTok, girls. What do you think about that? At first I was like, oh yeah, girl, do it. I didn't know that she was gonna like actually get a lot of followers. I didn't know that people were gonna be seeing me like as a little kid, like embarrassing moments of myself. Because my mom is so good at, she videos everything. She's on it. So then I started to get a little bit embarrassed because there would be videos of like her and my dad dancing. There were videos of just her and her quirky personality where I was like, oh my gosh, Mom. But now I've learned to embrace it because we've got a lot of things in the work. There's going to be something with the Darnells coming in soon.
Oh my God, like a reality show with the Darnells?
Something. I'm excited. I'm teasing something with my whole family. It'll be fun.
Well, I'm so excited for that. Yeah. Honestly, there's nothing better than having success, which you had individually, and then being able to bring your family along for the ride and having them be along for the ride, but each in their own respects. And I think that's been really fun to see.
And I will admit it was really hard for my dad and brothers. With my mom being on TikTok and me being on TikTok and Izzy being on TikTok. My dad is the most Southern, like, ideal person. He's very traditional. He does not like being out online. He did not like any of that. And so, like, my mom would take videos of him on the beach and include him in her TikToks. And it turns out my dad now has his own fan page. It's called Daddy Darnell. He is not proud of it. He's very embarrassed.
I need to look at Daddy Darnell.
He's just so opposite of us with that kind of stuff. He likes being on the farm and doing just that. If in his perfect world, social media wouldn't even exist. He didn't even know about TikTok until I was on TikTok. Like, he made an Instagram to watch me and Izzy travel. He's very not into media whatsoever, so it's really funny, like, getting him to be in the videos because he's like, oh my gosh, but fine. I'm like, Dad, it's for the family business. And then he's like, fine.
Well, also, there was a period during this past year's Bama Rush that you had a hard time, right? Where you took a step away from being involved in Rush and Rush content?
Yeah. So that actually, now I can say it, it all happened because I got a call from my, Theta president, and it was like the 4th day of Rush. I can't remember what day of Rush it was, so don't quote me on that. But I get a call saying, like, hey, we love you. We love that you're in our sorority, but your sister is, like, a lot online. And the thing with Izzy and, like, sororities is that they want to be able to control your media. I've had to take down so many different videos, like even like brand deals, things I was getting paid on. I've had to take down a lot of things. And I'm somebody that's willing to sacrifice that for my sorority. I thought it was fun. I loved it. I loved getting to go to all the date parties. I loved making all the friends. But Izzy didn't see it that way. She was like, I don't want somebody telling me that I can be on media or not, like, or what I can and can't post. She's like, that's just not me. Like, and if you knew Izzy's character, she's very much not like that. She doesn't really like people weighing in opinions on her life. She likes to do things the way that she likes to do them. So anyway, I get a call from my president, and they were like, we just want to let you know, like, we love you. We even like Izzy, but it's a social media thing where we knew that you weren't going to go online, and we know that, like, for example, like sports broadcasting, I made sure that my image was always clean online, where my sister's more of like the Alex Earl beats to her own drum. And so I've always made it like a thing to be extremely clean online and tried my absolute best being a college student, being clean, but being relatable at the same time. And that is really, really hard to do. So my sorority was like, we're not going to take Izzy. And I got that call. And like, I knew like that there were very slim chances of them just because of all the drama that Zeta's had to go through. And like, anytime I did something online, Zeta would automatically get the flack whenever they had nothing to do with it. And so I would always like, sometimes like, I would try to be really careful. And like, no matter how many times you watch a video and you think that it's not going to make people upset or that it's going to be totally fine, sometimes it just, you have no control after watching it a million times and thinking it's okay. And then you have to learn from it and realize that it wasn't okay. And so I feel like that aspect of it made me a better person, made me more understanding in the grand scale of life. But it really devastated me.
So that's why you took a step away, because you were so upset.
I was upset by that. And then I was upset that Izzy wanted, like, I was so excited vetting her and, like, trying to get her in the houses. Then whenever Izzy was like, I don't even want to do this. I'm dropping. Like, I don't. And it was just a lot for me. Like, I really wanted her to be in my sisterhood. I wanted her, or not even if she didn't choose to go to my sorority, I wanted her to, like, get the experience of it. She didn't want anything to do with it. And I really look back now, and I think that my mom was a little bit pushing her into it. And Izzy, I think it's like so cool though within our family is that you've got me who like loved being in a sorority, then you got Izzy who did her own thing. And I think that it's special that we were able to do both. Because honestly, now that I'm a senior, a lot of girls do drop, and you don't have to be in a sorority to be successful in college. Izzy shows you that. So I think that that's also inspirational to the other side. And definitely. I love that.
Now, at that time, I know your mom was like on and off campus. Like she was there sometimes helping you guys out. She was off campus sometimes, like back at home. During that period, was she there?
Oh, yes.
And how was that helpful for you?
Well, she was there because Izzy decided to opt out of freshman housing. She wanted privacy. That was the one thing like freshman year that I really struggled with, being in a big dorm and not having any privacy. So Izzy got her own house. And if you know my parents, you know my mom, she's never going to let her daughter live in something that's not top of the tier cuteness. Mm-hmm. So my mom was repainting the whole appointment. That poor landlord, I was so scared. I was like, Mom, you can't just like repaint a whole house. The landlord walked in, loved it. He was like, I didn't even have to pay for this. I love it. So that was great. But she was moving Izzy in essentially to like a whole house and not just like a dorm room. So it took a while. And then I think that she wanted to stick around to get some content and like show the other side. Now that was a lot of fun, but it was just very overwhelming. Sometimes I would look back and I wonder like what the experience would have been like if it would have just been me. I don't know. I guess I wished before the whole thing happened that I would have known that my sister truly, genuinely did not want to be in a sorority. I wish I would have known that because I didn't know. She was acting to me like, oh, yeah. I think that she was scared to speak up. I think that she honestly thought that she needed to do what I did. And I think that like management and stuff like that like had a big key factor in that. And I think that like she thought that if she didn't rush, then she wouldn't follow in my footsteps, and like she wanted to make me proud, and I didn't realize how much I was forcing it on her.
But and I would love to ask her too, because also I feel like there could be a part of her that like maybe she didn't know before trying.
Yeah. We've never really talked about this part of it,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize like she was like, dude, breathe. It's okay that I'm not in a sorority. Why are you acting like this is the end of the world? And I was like, I don't know. I just really wanted you to do it.
It's hard when
When the spokesperson of Rush, her sister, gets dropped from her sorority, that is hard. Like, I was like, y'all.
Yeah. No, that is hard. But also it's your expectations of like thinking that your sister wants this. And as that older sister, like you want the best for your younger sister. So you're like, well, if she says she wants this, then like, and she's going to try, then I'm going to make this the best experience for her. So I can't even imagine getting that phone call. And then, everything really does happen for a reason. Cause then she actually says to you, you know what, I really actually don't want to be in a sorority. This experience was great, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
So that must have felt like a full circle relief.
It was. And it was just so like off and on. She would tell me that she wasn't rushing, then was. I should have just been able to read into it better.
I'm so excited for your family show. Are your brothers going to be in it?
I think that I can't really say yet. Like,
is it going to be at the farm or in New York City?
Maybe both.
Oh my God. Wait, I'm so excited to see your mom help out with decorating the apartment in New York.
Yeah. Me and my mom have very different design techniques. I'm not very, okay, I like for her to just go in and do it, and then it looks all pretty, and then I walk in at the end, I'm like, oh, yeah. I've never been somebody that loves, like, with how much I love fashion, it would really surprise you how much I want nothing to do with decorating stuff. I'm just not good at it.
Decorating's hard.
It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
I've been spending, like, Jeremy knows this, but we're moving into an apartment on the Upper West Side, and when we get back to New York, and I'm so excited about it. It's like this beautiful, like, classic pre-war apartment that requires like all new furniture because we currently live in a loft in Brooklyn. Very different vibe. That's like modern and almost like farmhouse modern. But this is going to be a whole different type of experience. And I have been mocking up designs for like hours a day and having so much fun with it.
Yeah.
But also being like, damn, like I know nothing about interior design.
No, it's difficult. Props out to all those people that make spaces look beautiful. But one thing that I am excited for is that my dad and brother have never been to New York. They have lived in Ohio their whole lives, and the only other place they've been is like the beach.
Do you think they'll move with you?
Oh, goodness, no. They've never been to like a big city though. Like I'm excited for my dad to see that life whenever he's moving me in. Like I think that will be, like Aaron Darnell in the Big Apple, it's going to be hilarious. Like I honestly can't imagine it. He is so opposite, like country bumpkin, man. And so it's going to be so funny to watch him like see all the lights and the tall buildings because he's never seen anything like it.
Yeah. It's also going to be so fun for you, like every time that he comes back to visit, especially as you get like more immersed in the experience.
Yeah.
And then you get to like have him experience your favorite parts of the city. I think that's going to be really special. It's fun being a first time in New York for people. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I feel like it's so magical. I'm definitely going to take him to like a coffee shop and he's going to buy like a $15 coffee and he's probably going to choke on it being like, this is $15. So that'll be so fun to watch. Like 100%. Just him like being around everything. Just because like with pageants and dance and everything that I did growing up, we always traveled, but my dad didn't go to it. He was always at home working because he's such a busy man. And he's honestly not really into it. He didn't like it that much. So I think that him in a big city is going to be the biggest culture shock.
I'm so excited to see you two in New York City. We're going to have to get together.
Oh, definitely. I think
do a little like day where I show you guys around. We'll like push the stroller together. Yeah. I'll be like, this is what your life will look like in 10 years.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. Like go there, meet people, hopefully get like a good relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. We've talked a lot about social media and how you have had obviously a very public experience with Rushtok and being the queen of Rushtok and on social media sharing your experience. I know a lot of people talk about how Rushtok and social media has changed the actual Rush itself, right?
Yes.
How has social media changed Rush?
Oh, it's changed it so much. This is going to sound crazy, but I have had so many people come up to me at Alabama and be like, I just came to Alabama because of you and I wanted to be like you. I wanted to figure out how to do Rushtok. And I feel like that is where it changed Rush. Now, I'm very grateful for those people that like looked up to me and like wanted to follow in my footsteps. I think that that is so special. And it's also nice knowing that had a big effect on it, but it made like the process of getting into a sorority less genuine. We would have girls that like would come and Rush, and then they like would vlog about it online, and then whenever they didn't get the online traction, they would just drop the sorority after getting in. Or like move back home, like they just like tried it to become famous. And so that was where it like dampened it a little bit. And also, y'all, I'm saying this to all those Bama Rush viewers. If y'all don't chill out a little bit, we are so grateful for you. I know I'm grateful for you. You guys made my life. They're gonna take away Rushtok. They're not careful.
Like the audiences.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they attack sororities. They attack, like if a girl doesn't, for example, there's been so many scenarios where people will be in my comments like, get this girl in your sorority, like what are you doing? You're missing the boat. And then they forget that it's not just about looks, it's not just about outfits, it's not even about that 30-second clip, the way they present themselves. It's really important. You gotta have a good GPA, you gotta have like good volunteer work in your community, you have to have like, GPA is the number one. Like, for example, to get into Zeta, you have to have, it's either 3.2, my year was 3.2, I believe it's a 3.6 now. And the reason why it's so important is because if you didn't have a good GPA in high school, when your parent, like if you were living with your parents and like your teachers are more devoted to you in high school, then moving to college and being in a sorority and doing all the sorority stuff, because at Alabama, sorority is very demanding, you're not going to get good grades. Like it's just, you can tell right off the bat. And especially then whenever you throw in partying into the mix, you've got to be able to balance it. That is the most important part. And a lot of people would be in my DMs like, oh my gosh, like, you're so terrible. I couldn't believe like you didn't pick her. And then they would be going off at my sorority for not picking a girl when they didn't even know the girl's resume. I think that that is so important to remember, to be, just because you fall in love with the girl online doesn't mean you can fall in love with her on paper. And I think that that is like sororities like went under fire, and like people would like be giving sororities like a bad rep and like going off on these sororities online and like be in their DMs, and you forget that a college girl runs that account, so of course like we know about it all. And it was just causing like a bit of a crisis there for a little bit in our sorority.
And I also think that's really good advice because, you know, I think a lot of young girls in high school, you know, are on social media and they see you guys and they see the outfits and they see the parties and, you know, they see how much fun you guys are having and the cute TikTok video trends that you're doing, but you're not seeing the schoolwork, you know, and what's happening during the day when you're not out and about doing fun things socially.
Yeah. And I think that during Bama Rush, these people like get online, and we're so like thankful for the ones that support us. Just literally leave a nice comment on the girl's stuff, like, oh my goodness, you look so cute today, good luck. And then scroll, because then you've got people that are, you guys, like, I think that they online forget that these girls are so vulnerable. They're 17, they're 18, they're freshmen in college, new place without their parents, just got dropped off, anxiety's at a all-time high, and then they've got people in their, like, honestly, this is going to sound like weird whenever I say this, but the viewers should be grateful that they're getting to see the experience, because a girl could easily say, I don't want to show it, because number one, the girl, whenever they show themselves online, they're automatically downgrading their chance to get into a sorority, because sororities don't really want that anymore because it's not as genuine as it used to be.
Yeah.
And then you've got people that are hating on them in the comments. That breaks my heart the most. Whenever like a little cute girl's on there like trying to like do her process, and people are just being like, you should be in this sorority, or oh, you're not good enough to be in this sorority. Don't do that. Just be like, heart, love your outfit, and continue on. And that would make it so much better for everybody's mental health, I believe.
Oh yeah, and that, I'm sure that happened to you too when you were a young girl. I'm sure there were negative comments that you were getting, so it makes sense that you feel so much for those people.
Yes. And it like especially whenever my sister got it, people would be like, Izzy does not deserve to be in a sorority. And like, okay, you can have your opinion. I can't control your opinion, but don't post it on the girl's page. It's basically cyberbullying, and it's so sad.
It is cyberbullying.
Yeah.
Hey, not basically. It is cyberbullying. Anytime you leave a hate comment, you are bullying, and you are a bully.
I just think that out in our world right now, there's a lot of hurting hearts. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people are hurting, and I think that a lot of people compare people like to what they see online. They compare their lives to what they see online, and I feel that they forget that that's not always like everybody's life. It is very upsetting, like the hate comments that like just college creators, young girls, or just women in general, and even guys too. Like, it's really hard sometimes, but I think that I've been able to build myself up so much that I'm very thick-skinned to where it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. But there was a time when I was a freshman that a hate comment could put me in my bed for a week crying because I was such a people pleaser. I liked everybody thinking that I was doing it perfectly. I wanted to make everybody around me happy. And then I finally realized that it just wasn't obtainable.
I think also when it comes to hate comments, like you and I both deal with them, right? You know, but the positive so much so outweighs the bad.
Oh yeah, 10-1.
10-1, but it is so funny how like you can get hundreds of positive comments and then those 5 negative comments and they do stick with you.
Yeah, and they're persistent because usually it's like, I want to say it's like a group of 10 haters that are on everything constantly. I do think that that's crazy. Like the people that like stalk your page and like constantly are commenting something negative. I wonder how, I wish that there was a way that we could go about fixing that. I just think that everybody should get an activity. Maybe that's like,
yes,
I
movement.
think an activity would help.
You know what's so funny? I had a psychologist on, Jeremy's mom, who's a performance psychologist, and she works with a lot of professional athletes. And she said that exact thing.
Oh, really?
She was like, I really think like kids that are maybe in a negative mindset, if they just had more activities or more passions, they wouldn't feel that way. And she's a big believer in movement and getting outside and moving your body.
Maybe that's why I'm so positive, because I grew up, I was a competitive dancer, I did pageants, I played soccer, I ran track, I was a cheerleader.
You lived on a farm.
I played softball, I lived on a farm. I even played football at one point.
One of 4 kids.
Yeah. So I think that everybody at the new year, let's all do this. Everybody get an activity. Don't just like sit and doom scroll, because I feel like that's when it comes in. I don't know. I just wish everybody was happy.
I do too. Okay. So I've loved talking to you and getting to know you. And it's so fun just getting to know you and hearing, you know, your passions as a young kid and how that has really, you know, from growing up being a tomboy to then getting into pageants to then getting into sorority life at the University of Alabama to studying sports broadcasting and liking to be on camera. Like it all just makes so much sense and folds into each other so nicely. So let's talk a little bit about what it has been like balancing your sports broadcasting and journalism degree at the University of Alabama, all while doing Rush. You know, you've had this other side of you going on.
So I think that a lot of people, I forget sometimes myself that I need to put college first. It's really hard for me because I've been through it. Like, honestly, this is my last semester, y'all. I'm done after this, but thank God I graduated. There were moments where I grew up being such a good student and always getting good grades because, you know, that's kind of comes with being a perfectionist. It really does. But I remember about my sophomore year, I was like, all right, C's get degrees. You know what? Because I was traveling so much, doing so many events that it was really, really hard to balance. But the experiences that I was getting, like, for example, this is so funny, but last semester I had a professor that wouldn't let me miss certain things. Like I remember it was my, like, I don't want to call this teacher out because I did end up liking him as a professor, but I was literally working college game day, had to go to the set block that Friday. Game day was that Saturday. I was missing that Friday class. Now remember, I'm a sports broadcasting degree. Like, I am a news media major with minor in sports. So you would think that I would get an absence for that class. Like, that would be excused. Nope. That was the one thing about the University of Alabama that I really struggled with, was that teachers didn't understand. I don't know why. And like, it would keep me up at night. I would cry about it, but I didn't understand why I was able, like, doing all these worldly great experiences that were setting me up for my next life. It's no different than an internship. It's basically the same thing. It's just shorter. But my teachers wouldn't help me around that. And so I basically, like, did it all myself. I got all those opportunities, like, with my management and me, and I would really have to figure out how to time manage, because my professors were like, you're a student first. Doesn't matter what else you do. Be a student. You can do that at any time. It was really, really hard. Mm-hmm. But I did it.
Because there's a lot of kids. I mean, a traditional college student, it's like college is the full-time job, and then the internships are in the summer months. I mean, I was somebody that was like you, where I always interned during my, I mean, yours is a little different because it's social media, you're on camera, but I always interned during my college year. So I would take night classes to make it all work. And I ended up graduating early because I was the same as you. I was like, I want to get out of college. I want to start my work, start my full-time job, start making money. But it is hard because being a student is a full-time job. And then to balance that with another full-time job, which is like literally you making adult money, doing what you want to do post-grad, it's a struggle.
Oh, it was. It kept me up at night. But
yeah.
Hey, my next, this semester coming up is going to be my easiest one yet. So I am extremely excited.
What classes do you have on tap? Do you have fun classes?
They're all basically electives.
Okay, good.
What's
the best elective that you have coming up?
I'm doing a golf elective where I have to just go to the golf course and take a picture of a scorecard. And I love golfing. I can hit the ball in the air now.
Why do I low-key see you doing
but
golf coverage?
Oh, I would love to do it in between the tent section. Yeah. I think that's so cute.
So what are you doing post-college? Because I know you've had the experience of working at a lot of game days. You've done stuff with the MLS, right, as well. What else have you done?
So I've done, I'm really hoping the Ole Miss wins. And I never thought I'd say that as an Alabama fan because I'll be working the Natty coming up. And I'm really excited for that if Ole Miss wins. Because usually if an SEC wins, I get to go and do SEC Nation. I absolutely love their crew. I mean, they are the best people to work with. They automatically made me feel so included. And am I a professional? I'm on my way there. But they were very, very kind to me and helped me out. Laura Rutledge, there is not enough words on this planet that you can genuinely say about that woman. She's the most hardworking, iconic, legendary figure in sports right now. I mean, she's just doing it. I was so impressed with her. But so my goal, I love social media, and I love that I get to do social media, and I also love sports, and I love sports broadcasting. I want to be able to merge those together and do both. I would love to create content for a network, but also get the broadcast experience. I've been in talks, and I can't really say yet, and I hate to do that because I'm so excited about it, but I am moving to New York for a reason that does have something to do with it. But I've always grown up playing sports. I love talking about sports. So my goal in the end would be to take on a role kind of always keeping the sports information, everything first. But I also love embracing, ever since Taylor Swift stepped into the industry, I know a lot of people loved it. I know a lot of people hated it. But it's made sports more immersive, more lifestyle, more traditional, more pop culture. And it's brought in such a demographic of women into the sport. And being a woman myself, I think that it's so interesting. And once you learn the baselines of sports, they're actually so entertaining. That was why I did my Batty Baller University, where I was teaching girls sports, football positions, terms, and makeup. Because I think that it's really hard for girls to get into it by just sitting down with a guy, a brother, their dad, and just watching it. Because boys already know, they don't describe it to us. But once you learn, it genuinely becomes really, really, really interesting. And then you get into fantasy leagues and all of that stuff. And it's a really, really fun activity. Like I said, activities. Yeah, I just love sports. I said it's so fun. I would think that more people need to get involved. I'm just trying to get college girls my age. I started that because I remember I was sitting on the couch with my college friends and I turned the ball game on. They're like, oh, I don't even know what's going on. And so I basically broke down the positions and taught them. And I have gotten such a great review from women about oh, I know what this means now. I can't wait to share this with my husband or my significant other. This is gonna be so exciting. And now I understand the game. And then I've got husbands in my comments saying, well, now I know about makeup. So I love bringing both sides together. And I think it's a lot of fun.
We talked about this on the run, but I love that you bring a feminine touch to the world of sports.
Yeah. And I think that that's so important because as you see, athletes even are starting to do it with their crazy fashion. I think that it's so entertaining to just watch all sides of it. And I feel if the NFL really capitalizes on it, and college sports as a whole is just so entertaining. I personally love college sports more than the NFL. I just love it. I think that there's more grit, more heart. And I love the fan bases, how devoted it is. And maybe it's just because I'm the college demographic right now. But I feel
no, but I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, and I feel maybe I connect with it more because I went to the college and I'm watching the college play. It's if they win, I win. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel college ball feels like. But I just love getting people included in it, and I feel like the NFL and college football as a whole has a great market to tap into with more lifestyle and making it more emotional and like more trendy and more fun. I think that it brings a lot more people involved.
Well, I am so excited to see what you continue to do after college and even just in this final semester of school. I'm sure you have so much fun stuff coming up.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Let's do one final question. If you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self when you were just starting out at University of Alabama one piece of advice, what would you tell her?
Oh my goodness. I would tell her that's a really good question. I would tell her to breathe and like be more confident in yourself. And I would tell her to stop being a perfectionist because I really did have to learn that. And it was a lot of obstacles and hoops that I had to jump through to learn that. And it was just so funny because I knew that whenever I went to the University of Alabama, I was leaving my family, leaving everything that I grew up with behind. But I somehow knew in the bottom of my heart, I knew that like it was gonna work out. And I know that that sounds crazy. I knew that I would find a way to pay for my sorority. I knew that God like had my back. And so I just like trusted it fully. But I would tell myself to show that other side earlier. And I would tell myself to stop being a daggone perfectionist because it really did cripple me in a lot of things. Like I would be so anxious all the time. And so I would tell myself to embrace cringe more and to just really have fun and really embrace and say yes to everything. That is one thing that I'm really doing in my 2026 mindset is that I'm already so productive, but I just want to keep saying yes because I know a lot of the times you hear like, in another life, we don't have another life. This is the only life we have to live, so I want to embrace it fully. And I also want to remind my 18-year-old self that like it was my first time living too. Like I love that saying because sometimes whenever I notice like, oh, like that person said this about me, well, this is their first time living too. You never know what people are going through, and to not be as hard on myself as I was. I was really, really hard on myself, and I ended up putting myself into like a little hole where I could have been more positive and drug myself out. So I'm just glad that I'm in a better mental capacity now than I was then. And I know it's like crazy to hear that because a lot of people had no idea. I was really, really good at hiding it online, but
college is a journey and there's different eras, and it's interesting to go back and look on them and say, you know, I wasn't my best self then, but it taught me so much and it's made me the person that I am today.
Yeah. And it's just so funny because all the things that I thought mattered my freshman year of college did not matter whatsoever. Like they really had nothing in the grand scale effect of my life. And so yeah, to any girls that are going into college or any college girls, be easy on yourself, have fun, relax, but remember to balance school in there as well. Don't go too party. Because I did that a little bit my second semester. I was like, freedom! And yeah, it was a lot of fun though.
Well, Kylan, thank you so much for being on Post Run High with me today.
Yeah, no, I do feel the post run high still. I hope I'm not sore tomorrow, but I'm excited.
Next time we do a run together, I need it to be you and Izzy because I need to see you two get competitive with each other.
Oh, we're the most competitive people in the world. Like,
I need to see who will win in a mile race. And maybe at that point, I'll be so pregnant that I'm going to be on a bike and just like cheering for you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe it'll be after when you guys move.
New York,
Central Park Mile.
Winner gets all the bragging rights.
Yeah.
I'm going to win that. I'm calling it now.
We're doing it.
I'm going to train.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.